Do not start a digital agency until you watch this video, because whether you currently own one or you're thinking about starting one, I'm going to share with you some of the most valuable advice that I wish I had been given years ago when I first started my agency. This is advice that could have saved me a ton of time and money and wasted energy chasing the wrong things and building my business the wrong way instead of making sure that I was set up for success right from the start. And that's what I want for you. Hey there, my name is Erhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to The Marketing Show. I started my very first digital agency years and years ago, way before it was the cool thing to do and way before there were the resources and training and information that we now have available today. So, probably unsurprisingly, I made a ton of really big mistakes that set me back years and cost me a lot of money and really throttled the growth that I could have experienced and that I did experience but way later in my career. So what I want to do is shave years off of your learning curve and make sure that you're building your agency the right way right from the very beginning. And probably the very first piece of advice that I can share with you here, or the very first question that I want to pose to you, is making sure that the agency model is even the best one for you. You see, when it comes to building a business, and more specifically building an online business or building a remote or location independent or nomadic business, or whatever the current buzzword is, well, there's a number of different models that are going to be available to you, and the agency is really just one of them. And it comes with its own sets of pros and cons and ups and downs and goods and bads, and basically, those are all the same thing of saying that there's going to be some great stuff with the agency and there's going to be some bad stuff with the agency. So in order to decide if this is even the right one for you, it really does pay to spend a little bit of time ahead of time researching different business models available and finding one that is most in alignment with you, your skills, your goals, and what you're trying to accomplish. For example, right now there's a ton of popularity around things like drop shipping and Amazon and Shopify stores and pretty much any kind of e-commerce business. All of these are great, but they're going to attract a certain type of person with a certain kind of skill set, and they're going to sort of require you to operate your business in a certain kind of way. There's also the business models of affiliate marketing or info product marketing, where you sell other people's products or informational services or whatever it is, and these require kind of less physical shipment of goods, whether it's through Amazon or Shopify or whatnot, but more kind of intellectual or informational product sales. Then, of course, in the last few years, we've seen this massive boom in coaching and consulting and becoming an online coach or a life coach or a business coach or a marketing coach. And then, of course, lastly, we have the agency model, which is where you're going to be providing a service to a client, pretty much a business type of client. So you are going to be falling into the B2B or business to business space. And the agency model is predicated on serving clients. And this is a big kind of differentiator between a lot of the other models that have just discussed. For starters, when we're talking about things like drop shipping or Amazon or Shopify or anything like that, of course you're going to be serving people, but you're going to be serving them in more of a transactional manner, or you're going to be selling them a product, and therefore it's the quality of the product that you're selling that tends to matter whether your business is going to be successful or not. On the other hand, when we're talking about things like coaching or consulting, yes, you are going to be working with clients, but this is typically in a done with you type of scenario, meaning you're going to be working hand in hand alongside of your clients, helping them to achieve the goals that they're setting out to accomplish. So this leaves us with the agency model, and this is one of the biggest reasons that I want to make sure that we cover this in depth to make sure that it's the right business model for you, because the nature of an agency model is that you're going to bear the brunt of the responsibility. You're going to be doing the work for the client, and you're going to be providing them with a deliverable. Essentially, when it comes to the agency model, results are really all that matters. So you want to make sure that you're competent and you're skilled and you have the technical ability, or at least the ability to find people with the technical ability to deliver on the promises that you're making with your agency. So let's say that you've gone through the different options available. You've looked at Amazon, you've looked at Shopify, you've looked at doing drop shipping, you've looked at possibly coaching or consulting, and you're really set on doing a digital agency of some sort. Well, first of all, congratulations. It is a fantastic business model and one I've run with success for the better part of a decade now, built a number of different agencies, so I really am a big supporter and firm believer in the power of this business model. But what's next? Once you've made the decision, how are you going to be successful with the agency? And what is the single most important skill that you're going to need to have in order to build a thriving agency? Well, let's cover that now. When I'm working with my clients or talking to a group of agency owners, they're almost always surprised to hear what I believe and what I've seen to be true is the single most important element of building and thriving and really developing a solid agency, and that is lead gen. You see, when it comes to running a successful agency, generating leads, generating customers, and the ability to go out there and generate leads on demand is the single most valuable skill that you could ever hope to possess. And this is for a number of very important reasons. First of all, you're gonna need to know how to generate leads for your own business if you want to survive, because if you've got an agency and you don't have any clients, you don't really have an agency. You just have kind of a time and money suck that's gonna drain you of energy and deplete your soul. I'm speaking from firsthand experience on this one because when I was first starting my agency, I didn't have enough clients to get by, and I was forced to work those 12, 14, 16-hour days, 7 days a week for years, really, until I finally cracked the code and figured out what it was going to take to grow my agency successfully. This is why lead gen is crucial. You need to understand how to generate leads for your business. But there's another benefit as well, and that's the fact that if you're running a digital agency, your goal shouldn't be to just go out there and create really nice or fancy or pretty stuff. Rather, it should be to deliver results to your clients. And what your clients are probably looking for is more money, which is going to come from customers, and those customers are going to come from leads. So you're going to need to be able to generate leads both for yourself and for your customers. Now, this is where things get a little bit ugly because you may have been sold a false bill of goods when someone said, just start an agency and it's easy and you'll get all the clients because everybody's looking for help. And the reality is this is partly true, but it's also very untrue in that, yes, there are a lot of people looking for the help of a digital agency and for someone with your level of expertise. However, they've also probably been burned very badly before by a number of unscrupulous or just not very good agencies who took their money and then didn't deliver on the promise. Meaning that, yes, there is the demand, but there's also a huge level of skepticism for people like you and like me. And deservedly so, because they've been burned really bad before. And there's way too many people who just hung up their sign and said, yeah, I'm now a digital marketer, or I'm a web designer, or I'm a social media marketer. And they didn't have any credibility, they didn't really have any training, they didn't know what they were doing, so they burned a whole lot of people. This is why getting those initial few clients and really doing some like grassroots, guerrilla marketing, lead gen type of activities is going to be incredibly valuable for you. This is exactly how I started pretty much all of my agencies, and it was boots on the ground, going to local networking events, putting out a ton of content, helping people where I could, and doing a lot of work for free, especially in the early days. Okay, moving right along, the next thing that I wish someone had told me right from the beginning. Sort of, because on the other hand, I'm almost glad that I was oblivious to this because it allowed me to push through, but you know what, I'm gonna tell you anyways because I'd like you to go into this thing prepared. And that is that digital agencies or businesses in general have an incredibly high failure rate. The statistics show that 8 out of 10 businesses are gonna fail, and the reality is that running an agency, running a business at all, it's hard. It's really hard. You're gonna get kicked in the teeth a lot, especially in the beginning. You're gonna have to do things that you may not like to do, including having awkward conversations and doing a lot of local networking and creating a ton of content, trying to build systems, trying to keep clients happy, all the things that go into running a successful agency. You also may have been sold, in fact, if you've watched any other videos, I can almost guarantee you've been sold this false dream of making millions overnight, or working on a beach from your laptop, working an hour a day and raking in the cash, doing absolutely nothing. That type of dream may exist, but it is incredibly rare. It's definitely not the lifestyle that I'd want to promote to you, especially knowing that you can be incredibly successful. You can build a 6-figure agency, which all it really takes is hitting that 8 or 9 or 10K a month, and you're there. But it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of energy properly directed in the right direction. Also, it's important to know that when you're trying to grow an agency, you really want to play the long game. If I look back nearly a decade ago when I started my first agency, almost all of the people that started agencies around the same time as I did, almost all of them are gone. None of them are here today. They've all moved on or kind of got washed out or simply found other things that are in more alignment with what they're after. And that's okay, but it's important to know that this is a war of attrition. There's gonna be a lot of people that start, a lot of people aren't gonna make it, which means that if you wanna succeed, you have to be committed to playing the long game and to doing the things that others are unwilling to do so you can have the things that others will never have. But running an agency isn't all doom and gloom. There's a ton of really good things, which is what I want to share with next. Probably the most beautiful and powerful and empowering aspect of owning your own agency or owning your own business at all is that you really do get out what you put into it, meaning you are in control. You have a huge level of accountability and responsibility to yourself and to your clients, but at the end of the day, it's your business and you can choose to operate it how you like, and your success is going to be a direct reflection of everything you put into it. Now, if you're just starting from scratch, I kind of alluded to this earlier, but 12 to 16-hour days for 7 days a week, well, getting started that way isn't unrealistic. And in fact, if you can double your work hours and double the amount of time and energy you put into it right from the very beginning, you're going to experience significantly faster growth. There is going to come a point of that sort of critical mass when you've got enough energy and enough momentum and enough clients behind you that you can definitely dial back to a more sustainable, healthier kind of level of work, but it's going to take time to reach that level of critical mass. So don't be shocked if you've got to put it in, but just understand this is an investment in yourself, in your agency, and in your future. You also have a tremendous level of freedom and control. You get to decide what kind of work you want to do and who you want to do it for. Whether you want to do web design or SEO or PPC or social media management or pretty much anything, you get to decide. And then you also get to decide what kind of businesses, or what kind of industries, or what kind of markets, what kind of clients you want to work with, and then really focus your efforts that way. Perhaps my favorite part of all, though, of owning an agency, of getting to run an agency, and of getting to share this information with you is the fact that it really is unlimited in its potential. Before I started my very first agency, I used to be a pilot. And I was a business jet pilot, meaning that it was my job to fly business jets and wealthy billionaires and royalty and celebrities all around the world. And it was an amazing job, but I knew that by sitting in the front of the plane, I was never going to be able to sit in the back of the plane doing the job that I was doing. Everything changed when I started my own agency. I took control of my life, of my future, of my business, and of my potential. And I was able to basically, again, get out what I put into it. And over the years, I've put a lot into it, but it has all been returned in orders of magnitude. And every day is absolutely worth it and absolutely has been an amazing sacrifice to essentially switch from flying and from flying business jets, which granted is an amazing job, but running my own agency is 10 times better. And that's what I want for you. Which is why the very next thing you're gonna wanna do is check out the video I have linked up right here on the marketing strategy that will change your business. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. This single strategy, when properly deployed, can help you generate more customers, increase your revenue, and make you untouchable to your competition. It's not easy.